Okay, ladies and gents, a bit of a special and unusual morning this morning. I mentioned in the previous video that, nope, not this chap, that, that there was a gallery, an exhibition on Tuesday evening. Now, very kindly, the gallery have agreed to let me film, guys, for all of you. It's much quieter today, luckily. So we're going to have a look at Rob's amazing paintings, most of which we've seen before, but many of which we haven't, in fact. Particularly the painting of Guildhall, which I believe is downstairs. I'll try and read the titles, guys, so my eyesight holds up. The first birthday parade of the new reign. That's one of my favourites, actually. I remember that very well that day. I need to get back pretty far with some of them though, guys. It's surprising. I don't remember so many of the paintings being so large, actually, when we first came across them. Here is one, Blues and Royals. Gatesman or Chitsman, I can't quite see. It's titled Blues and Royals Foot Century Study 1. My guess, instinctively, is going to be Chitsman, I would have thought. Just looking at the pose, the posture. I mean, possibly Gatesman. We'll never know 100%. I should have asked Rob, to be honest, folks, shouldn't I? The next one is... Oh, it's Javelin, ladies and gents. It's the lifeguard mount. Javelin, look at this. The next one, I'm guessing, is almost certainly going to be... of the gatesmen. Looking at the posture of both of the troopers, one in each. This one is titled Blues and Royals Foot Century Study Number 2. And some folks, of the paintings are still available for purchase. Notice the ones with red dots are not, they can be ignored, and others are not for sale because they've been donated graciously by the artist to certain places. Sorry, I'm trying desperately. Thank you so much. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II lying in state at Westminster Hall. This is going to require me to get back quite a bit, folks. There's a huge item in front of me, so I can go in a little bit. Well, how about that? Isn't that absolutely magnificent? That, I believe, is one of the paintings that was donated. That and a couple of others that featured events at horseguards and elsewhere after the passing of Her late Majesty. This is an interesting one, guys. We've got King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. King's Troop Female Gunner is the title of the painting. That, I believe, is actually one of two. I'm pretty sure I've seen another one of a gunner from the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. On the bottom here is Tri-Service presentation of new standards and colours in Buckingham Palace. We remember this, don't we, actually? There's another magnificent painting, the colours at the bottom, utterly extraordinary. At the top, there's got to be Trooping the Colour. Actually, Alban Sceptre, folks, beating with Tread. So shortly after Trooping the Colour, 2023. So not the one that we watched together this past summer, the one that Robert finished from last year. The light he's captured, in fact, that was a big difference actually. Thinking back 2023, the light was far better in the evening than it was this year, which was a little bit overcast. So I think you got a very lucky moment. It looks to me, and you military folk are welcome to correct me, as though we have the Irish Guards leading the march probably back toward Wellington Barracks in all likelihood. King's Lifeguard in winter coat. Quite appropriate, folks. The lifeguards have only been back in winter order for, let's think, what has it been now? 3 weeks or a month? In fact, I think this is week 4 in winter order. It doesn't mention in the description of the painting which horse is the lifeguard mount. You folks will know, one of you will know. If you post it in the comments, that would be wonderful. I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't want to jump in because I know I'll get it wrong. Plus we've got a 1 in roughly 100 chance of getting it right, so let's not bother. If we step way back for this one of my personal favourites, this one's glorious. We've got Blues and Royals boxman in the unhaunted box, should we say, the farther box from Parliament Square. That's an extraordinary painting, actually. Union flag hanging over horseguards. Title of the piece is The Horseguards Farewell. Say no more, folks. Yeah, The Horseguards Farewell. It says it all, doesn't it, pretty much, in the painting. The way that he's captured the horse, we've got no way of knowing which Blues and Royals mount is in this picture, sadly. No idea of the socks, blaze, other markings, or indeed the trooper, but I'm sure the trooper will recognise himself in this piece, as some of the other troopers have done in some of the other works, one of which, in fact, a lifeguard trooper actually purchased for himself, so quite befitting. Last one on this floor is Lifeguard Sentry Study 1. I've got a rough idea of which lifeguard that is. Hopefully he recognised himself in the piece. Again, I'm going to guess, in all probability, the gatesman, due to the posture, more probable than the chitsman. Very vivid, actually, the way that Rob's captured the lifeguard uniforms, especially that long coat. Extraordinary, isn't it, folks? Yeah? I really hope my memory's not failing me, people, and there is another one of the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery downstairs. Okay, so the next one is Household Cavalry Band, trooping the colour, from this year, 2024. That's the Household Cavalry Hcav band marching from Hyde Park Barracks vis-a-vis Constitution Hill past Buckingham Palace, and then in this painting you can see the robbers captured them on the Mall. They've just passed the memorial. They're walking between St James's Park and Green Park along the Mall toward horseguards. Extraordinary. Again, Union flags, magnificent. Now, one thing I did mention briefly, folks, after the viewing on Tuesday, is that after he'd finished residency as the Hcav artist in residence, Rob then spent time as the household division artist in residence. So he's covered Hcav and he's covered the household division, the 5 regiments of foot. This is titled Guard at St James's Palace. I wonder if that guard is aware that he's in such a wonderful piece. Again, folks, like before, I need to get back behind this very large table and I can zoom in a little bit. I think a couple of my absolute favourites I might well photograph independently and pop on the Instagram. I don't, of course, want to be too presumptuous. Of course, all rights to everything that is filmed today remain with the artist Rob Pointon. The Changing of the Guard at Buckingham Palace, another magnificent piece at the top, extraordinary, painted inside the gates of the palace, looking out toward the Mall and beyond. Wow, that's quite the spot, isn't it, folks? That, in fact, is a spot that we used to comment on being the true VIP spot where family members often stand when they get invited to watch their sons and daughters in the household division during the changing of the guard ceremony at Buckingham Palace. That's such a busy picture. In fact, I really like that one very much. The one below, I might need to crouch down a little bit. I'm sure it's beating retreat downpour. Aha. Now, interesting enough, this isn't titled as 2023 or this year 2024. Now, I don't remember actually whether we had the downpour this year or last year. I'm sure one of you will remember. In fact, we probably had it both years, to be fair. That said, I'm reasonably certain, from the position of the screen and so on, that would have been 2023. The screen, I'm sure, was on the left-hand side of the parade ground this year. So I think that's also 2023. I have to be really careful, guys, not to fall down the stairs in a minute as we try and capture some of the last paintings here on the ground floor. This is Founders' Day at the Royal Hospital, Chelsea. Well, 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 look at that. That is another extraordinary painting. It's one of those days you can just see from how blue the sky is that everything just fitted at the right moment. What a view that is, eh? Spectacular. Clapping the Old Boys, Remembrance Day by the Cenotaph. Obviously this would have been last year, 2023. In fact, yeah, remember, actually it was not a particularly nice day, it was raining. Yeah, unlike this year when it was actually quite nice in comparison. Another extraordinary, I sure would agree folks, I mean, we don't have superlatives. The artwork is simply beautiful, it's quite stunning. Bottom one is St. Patrick's Day stacked drumhead service. I must confess, folks, I can't comment on this one. Why? Because I don't know any background to the location or indeed the guards that are featured. I'm going to assume Irish Guards, but if anyone is able to correct me, I'd be most grateful. Ladies and gents. That's another sold painting. At the top, we've got a pretty, another Blues and Royals. This is Letting a Breeze Through During a Heat Wave. Again, this summer or last? Couldn't tell you folks, it's undated. Instinctively, I would think it's probably 2023 last year. That magnificent view that a lot of tourists, and some of you actually pointed out in fact after Tuesday's video, a lot of tourists like to stop behind that box and take pictures. I often joke of the back of the horse. They're not actually, of course, taking pictures of the back of the horse. Simply unneeded extra. The view on a nice day is that architecture. Okay, we're toward the MOD. Now, one of the most famous paintings, if not the most famous painting, is one that, for me personally, it's a real privilege to see it complete. And here in the gallery. Why? I'm reasonably sure, that was the day that I first started talking to Rob as he was painting, or preparing, sorry, the painting and the canvas for what would become this signature piece. It's extraordinary, isn't it? Let me read the description, guys, before I get back in. The King's Mounted Procession, the 6th of May, 2023. Now, I don't remember if that is the largest canvas, but it is certainly one of the largest canvases. There's a huge one of Guildhall, I remember downstairs, which we'll see shortly, but that is, I mean, what can we say, folks? It's just everything about it. We've got, happily enough, lifeguards having just emerged from Admiralty Arch, which luckily, of course, was then not boarded up, about to become a Waldorf Astoria. That's over on the right-hand side. So they're emerging from Admiralty Arch, passing Trafalgar Square, and turning right onto Whitehall. At the bottom of Whitehall, poking above the trees, to the left of the painting, you can see the Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben, poking out. But it's an extraordinary picture for several reasons. We've captured, not only, I say we, the artist has captured, or has been captured in the picture, the lifeguards, obviously mounted lifeguards. We've got Royal Carriage, we've got Royal Marines, who, as you can see, are interspersed with the police officers. The Royal Marines facing toward His Majesty, and the troopers, the police facing away toward Trafalgar Square. And we can also spot several household division soldiers with their bearskins. It's a remarkable work. Is it my favourite? Hard to say. I mean, it's certainly one that is impossible to forget. Okay, we're going down to the basement level, folks, carefully. Trying obviously to avoid falling over as I go. Okay, the Irish Guards St. Patrick's Day Parade. In fact, this one is another piece from this year. Quite a glum day, very, very wet. Barracks, I don't know where, folks, I can't comment too much on this. I don't know the background to the location that this was painted. Hopefully one of you will know. Another extraordinary piece, isn't it? Okay, last time I need to watch the stairs for a moment. These are reasonably new to me, the ones on the wall. In fact, I didn't even have the time to have a good look at them when I was here on Tuesday evening. I'll read them out one by one. They are all, except for the lowest, already sold. Downtime Irish Guards on exercise, Brecon beacons. Brass picking. If anybody wants to give me some background to any of these, please feel free to do so, guys, in the comments. Much appreciated. Break on exercise in Brecon at the bottom. Cards in St James's Palace, officers' mess. Look at this. Extraordinary. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II lying in state at Westminster Hall. Flanking fire. This one here. At the bottom, waiting to enter the ranges. One assumes the firing ranges, Brecon again. Back to the paintings, folks. Live fire exercise, Brecon at the bottom. River of Mourners. Good Lord, that's extraordinary, this one at the top. River of Mourners. Oh, actually, this was the other huge one that I'm remembering. Troops arriving for the overnight coronation rehearsal. A lot of us will remember that from those lives, in fact, that extraordinary moment in history that was captured completely by accident. But that, I can just about fit perfectly into the frame, is an extraordinary piece, is it not? It's huge and glorious. Sun setting over the queue at the bottom. Again, one I can't comment too much on, folks. I don't know the background to this picture at the bottom. Tower Bridge, Comte Jour. This is the second lifeguard study. I've got a good idea, actually, which trooper that is. It's an undated study. Instinctively, trying to remember where Rob's easel was typically when we encountered him in the yard. It was almost always facing the gatesman. So through the front gates over to the left-hand corner of the yard. So I'm pretty sure that's another gatesman study. The birthday cake. This one here at the bottom, right outside the palace. St David's Day Parade of the Welsh Guards, Combermere Barrack. This is the second one. The procession returning from the Abbey on Coronation Day. This time being led by the Blues and Royals. We've got quite a lot going on in this one. I can't really get back too much further, folks, because the staircase is around it. I think I can just about fit the painting in. The title of the painting is Coronation Procession, 6th of May 2023. Again, a lot going on. Royal Marines facing the procession, police officers facing away from the procession toward Trafalgar Square, Blues and Royals of Hcav heading through Admiralty Arch. State carriage flanked by beefeaters. We can also see some seamen, some sailors. Bottom left-hand corner. I don't see, I'm trying to spot, I don't see in this one any household. Actually, there are, in fact, leading at the front, having gone through on horseback. It looks like before the Blues and Royals. So it's really all going on, doesn't it, in this one? I wonder if the same individual institution has both of these, because they make a fine pair. Procession to the Abbey, procession from the Abbey. Mourners queuing on Westminster Bridge. Gosh. That'll be familiar to lots of you. This, of course, is one of the statues on Horseguards Parade. Field Marshal Earl Roberts statue, Horseguards Parade. Morning. Hiya. Okay, so we've got another study, folks, Blues and Royals. The title, The Kingsguard of the Blues and Royals. That's a boxman in the, should we say, best way to describe it, non-haunted box. Looking at horseguards from the front gates, that of course is the right-hand box. Which trooper is it? I don't know, folks. Which horse is it? One of you will definitely know. Quite a distinctive blaze. Rob's also picked up the socks. Which of the Blues and Royals horses, guys, has two white socks, both on the left-hand side? Answers in the comments, people. One of you will know. Let me turn. We're almost, regrettably, people, at an end. Another, in fact, probably looking at it, the largest. Is this the? This is, I think, is the largest, is it not? Just about by canvas size.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the second.
Not in the catalogue, though.
Is it not? This one was.
No, this was earlier.
That's an extraordinary. I mean, wow. The fireworks that have been captured. Is that beating retreat or? It is, yeah. The sword and the crown beating retreat 2021. I think this is one of the earliest paintings in the exhibition. The colours, in fact, both on the left and right. Now, I think that was actually the first beating retreat that we attended, folks. There's still video footage of that. That was a very warm and sunny evening. But the fact that Rob's managed to capture the past 3 years, 2021, 2 and 3, sunny, warm evenings, wet, quite mushy but humid evenings. This one, though, is extraordinary. And that is the largest of the canvases. Okay, I did mention one in particular, and that, fortunately, folks, I'm sure that was over on the other one, wasn't it? This one was over on the other side on Tuesday. It was hang on that end, I'm sure it was. Unless I'm... No? Have they been moved around?
No.
No? I probably had too much champagne on Tuesday.
That's been there.
I was sure it was at the bottom of the stairs. Okay, folks. Welsh Guard St David's Day Rugby at the top. Again, this is one I don't actually remember looking at. I think probably because there was so much attention on this Guildhall painting, which we'll finish up with but one at the end. That's the guard shop, everybody, at Horse Guards. Titled, actually, the piece is titled The Guard Shop. That's a lovely painting. You know what I'm thinking, ladies and gents? I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea to have a fundraiser for this once it's still available. And if we could purchase it, we could donate it to the old trooper. Or indeed to London District. Thoughts in the comments, people. At the bottom, Captain Billy Richardson, Welsh Guard. I'm pretty sure, without being too presumptuous, that Captain Richardson would have snapped this piece up straight away. It's sold. with his dog on the Chesterfield. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Now I did mention it at the beginning, and I was sure it was at the other end, but apparently not. That shows I definitely had too much champagne. I can't really get much closer as there is a desk between myself and this painting. Plus it is huge. It's the largest square canvas. Guildhall. In the City of London. I'm sure it's Guildhall. I hope it is. I seem to remember somebody said it was Banqueting Hall. Is it Lord Mayor's Banquet? It's still for sale, folks. If any of you really fancy this one, it really is a quite extraordinary piece of work, is it not? The colours. Not only is the hall itself an architectural masterpiece, but goodness gracious, the way that Rob has captured the statue on the right hand side, gazing over the banquet, and the lights as well. Remarkable. And the final painting, ladies and gents, right here. Instinctively, without looking, I would have thought Lord Mayor's... second. Yeah, it is. The Lord Mayor's Show 2023, this one. I was thinking it looks like the City of London. That's the Cheese Grate, I believe, building just off centre right, poking its distinctive self through. Wonderful, really. It's hard to choose a favourite. I mean, obviously a lot of you are going to instinctively like the Hcav paintings, not least because we have horses in a select few. For me, it's very hard to decide actually between this one. I don't know how well the camera would have picked it up, but there's something particularly, I don't know, atmospheric, I think is what I'm looking for. I mean, the hall is absolutely packed, but of course the artist has a gloriously quiet spot overlooking the proceedings, and wow, what a perspective that is, eh? A view that probably very few people have actually ever seen, to be fair. Utterly incredible. I mean, it really is extraordinary. I think, however, ladies and gents, that this one and the two large pieces from the Coronation are probably the most memorable. The Coronation pictures are, I mean, they are absolutely magnificent. Enormous canvas. Though it's just fitting in, and I can just about squish my backpack against the stairs to get that in frame. If I've made any errors, folks, in what I've told you about the paintings, the subjects, or anything else, they are my errors, mine alone, and I appreciate any corrections or notes of correction in the comments, ladies and gents, as ever. Thanks, of course, to Rob Pointon, the artist, of all of these masterpieces that we've been lucky enough to see today. And a huge thanks, of course, to Pointon Hall, the gallery that are hosting this exhibition. If you'd like to come and see, folks, these absolutely spectacular pieces of art for yourselves, the exhibition here is open to the public from the time you watch this video until I believe the 29th of November. There is no admission charge. This is a public gallery. These paintings are now on public display. We have been graciously afforded the ability to look at them relatively undisturbed. Only a few members of the public have been in here this morning. So we got very, very lucky this morning. That was, I think, partly why I wanted to run out early. But I hope, everybody, you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And again, any errors that may have been picked up in terms of my commentary are my own entirely. And for those errors or oversights, folks, I do apologise. I did have a quick read of the catalogue yesterday, but goodness me, sort of brushing up on this many paintings was no small feat. But I hope you enjoyed the tour, ladies and gents, and I will be back as ever very soon. Bye for now.